To be honest here, guys, I'm disappointed and embarrassed with myself. I posted videos of this on social media, and I never made a YouTube video, and I have to apologize. It is an awesome build. Here are some photos of BrianTyers 65 custom C10 turbo, twin turbo, LS swapped. Incredible all-around driver, power maker, fun haver. So, Brian built this beautiful truck and he made an awesome list, and I found the list and I was like, you scumbag, did you never make the video? So here I am making the video. 65 C10 built by BrianTyers, the owner of Brian's Customs and Classics in New Jersey. It is a Holley Terminator X Max with a Bob Ross Flex Alt harness. He's talking about my Holley plug and play harness. It is a 6-liter with a forged bottom end, crank, pistons, rods. It is 10.5 to 1 compression, Summit Stage 2 turbo cam, Manley valve springs, Snake Eater 1500s, a single 4303. It has a completely stock Gen 3 truck intake, as you'll see from the photos. VS Racing twin 6673 billet wheel turbos, VS Racing gates and blow-off valves, twin eBay intercoolers, air-to-air. Flowtech turbo headers, those are up and forwards, which everyone knows where I stand on those, but it looks good in here and they work good. It has 4-inch sewer pipes, as he writes, with mufflers all the way to the rear bumper. It's cool that this thing has full exhaust. Everything on it looks amazing. Some of you might notice he put the turbos all the way far up in the front end where the, I think, blinkers used to go there, or running lights, and he put his own mesh grills in for turbo filters. It has a Junkyard 80E with an HD2 kit with the Cameron Powers original triple disc from Jake's, I think his first revision torque converter from like the 3 that have been in the Crown Vic. It has a Curry 9-inch Ford rear end with a 350 ratio, and I can't tell what size tire it is in that photo. It's got a decent sized tire out back too, but we did a bunch of tuning and we went way farther on power than he wanted, and we'll go over the Holley logs here in a second as my photos run out. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we are at the data overview part of the show, and I will mention that they did a fantastic job getting this car ready, and my buddy John Martin also works with Brian, so he was able to help him with a bunch of the tuning and getting the files loaded. I wrote them a base file, and they loaded it and said it started and drove and everything, and we made sure the flex sensor worked and his fan came on, and he drove it around, and they were able to make a couple pounds of boost, and they kicked a file back to me, and we went over first drive, second drive, update, to make sure things were working. We even added boost to make sure his boost controller was working. So he brought it in with the tune file already pretty much sorted. He was driving it. Every now and then the first file I dump in here, it biffs like that. Of course, it's on video for everybody. So this was fresh off the street. 7 PSI. Closed loop compensation extremely tight here, only 2%, because we had gone through most of it already. We swung her out to like 6,700, and then I didn't even get the pedal to the floor. I noticed some pedals have like the carpet and the smushiness and stuff up top. So this was off street gate hit, and we were running a tiny bit of boost control, and that's why it made about 7 pounds. Off street gate hit. What do we make? 521. So what we're going to do now is, this was on gate also. So what's 605? 605 horsepower. As you can see, I wasn't not finding wide open yet, but that's not too big of a concern. 9.9 pounds. 10 pounds. Yep, so approximately 10 pounds. Made 605 rear wheel. Yep, 604 here. Close enough, huh, boys? So this was some back and forth going on here. And then one neat thing, I believe between 3 and 4 here was a cool experiment. All I did was phase the injectors in the tune, I believe. Yep. So we went from those two, and phasing is basically timing the injectors. There's Brian's stuff. I was stealing his Facebook photos for the truck so you could see it. I'm all over. So phasing the injector is, it knows the cam events and the valve opening events. So to stop fuel from puddling on the intake valve, especially with a larger injector. This is very good for drivability and smell and a bunch of things, using less injector and making more power, evidently, as a few vehicles I have done phasing and we have picked up power. I haven't tried to optimize it. I just use the Holley calculator where you give it the valve events and the camshaft events, and it has a calculator basically, and it scales the injector phasing event based off of the cam base settings you put in, and it's always better, and it always uses less injector, and it helps out. It's pretty neat how it all works. It definitely gives better startup, low speed drivability, and improved power as a byproduct. So that's just a neat one right there if you guys want to look into it. So I believe here, what did we run into? We hit boost cut. I got a little ham-fisted with this, and there we go again. Nice error. Straight into boost cut. Forgive me, I'm not accustomed to using this laptop I'm using. Yeah, we added boost, and I forgot to turn boost cut up, so it tickled it right there, as you can see. Went bloop, and it shut us off. And then we had a solid one here, 713. I got a little gun shy, probably, and I lowered the boost amount. 713, 15 PSI, I think. Yeah, we had a little bit of a whoop-de-whoop. 15, and it fell to 13 pounds. So 15 peak made 713 rear wheel. Really awesome. And then Brian has a 4303 pump, but his feed situation isn't ideal. I forget exactly what it is. It's a little bit of a smaller feed, and it S-bends through the rails. Not ideal. So we were running out of fuel as we pressed on, and normally a 4303 will go farther than what we got out of his, but we pressed it into some pretty dangerous fuel dropping off. So this has stopped me from continually opening this. What do we make 811 on? We made 811 on an error. So let's drop it again. It's only this one. It's only every time I use this laptop to make a video for you guys. That's my excuse. 19 pounds peak, and falling off to about 17, and then coming back up. Closed loop is yanking out a bunch of fuel. 6900. Still, I'm really not getting the throttle all the way down, but it's a turbo car, so 60% flex fuel, 45% boost control. Inlet temps are great. Coolant temp is great. Air fuel targets are all good. I think I even fattened it up a little bit from this messing around. We'll see how it goes. So next, we pressed on a little bit more. 890 rear wheel. I want to double click and it brings up that. 890 rear wheel on 22 pounds, closed loop. Finally in a good spot. We got all the fuel trimmed out after running it into the 20 pound range a few times. 6700. So this is where yeah, you can see fuel pressure is dropping off big time. Down here 67 psi, up here 70, 66, 56, 53, 49. Yeah, that's when I was like, well, we're nosing off pretty bad, and closed loop is just flattening out up top. But for fun, we'll see. We'll let Holley take the wheel, right, boys? So we'll just, like I said to him, we're on the dyno. It'll be a short hit. I forgot to raise boost cut, of course, being safe. So I raised boost cut, and we swung for the fences here. And what do we hit? 28 pounds. We hit 28 pounds, and it cut me on boost. 27, 28. Yeah, I must have cut it right at 28. That's where it shut me off. Duty cycle 144. Closed loop comp was pinned. It actually went a little too lean. It ran off, but that's the nice thing about ethanol and a short hit. I should have had closed loop even higher, and it would have just ripped the injector open more, but at some point you just can't get any more in. So fuel pressure had just tanked off to nothing, 49 pounds, and that was the issue there. But so I doubt it's hard to use this much power in this truck anyway right now, and he's I think his goal was like 700 or 750, so 930 and change and running out of fuel. was well above his expectation. He was happy with it, obviously. And I said, you know, I have a bad way of being like giving people 8 homework assignments, like, oh, if you did this and if you change that and you're running out of pump early and blah, like, but I'm like, honestly, if you drive this thing around with 750 to the tire all day, it's going to be insane. So you could just do that and ignore everything I'm saying. And yeah, so that's what we always go over. So that's how he has been driving it. And he says any day it doesn't rain, he takes this thing, or if it's not like excessively hot. It doesn't have air conditioning, so I don't know if he's like me. There's days where I just want to have AC when it is 105 degrees instead of have fun. So that's Brian's awesome truck, beautiful build. I love that he drives it all the time. He definitely does. He sends me pictures all the time of him with like 4-wheelers and stuff loaded into it, and just driving it to get parts. Anytime they make a short run for lunch, they take this thing. So that's what it's all about, having fun with what you own. So I believe he will do okay with these power figures. 931. It's so funny to see, like, turbo cars are so rewarding because of these things. Like, you can just throw power in the stupid thing and make 400 extra horsepower, 410 extra horsepower by tickling some keys. And then when he was done, because this thing is obviously very rowdy in low gears at high boost, I set up a boost by mile an hour tune-up for him. It might even be on this. Boost control. Yeah, by mile an hour. I have boost coming in as he accelerates, so it's much more useful to try to control this thing. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I love this build. He did a fantastic job. It is clean and nice and neat and functional, and he uses it. And he used a whole bunch of like common sloppy stuff, and he's in love with it. And it's always nice to see a happy ending, right, guys? So let me know what you think of Brian's truck, and we'll move on from there.